Mustang starting lineup today brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions. Cargill Meat Solutions takes as much pride in the community just as they do in the products they provide to their consumers. Part of the KSIR B106 scholarship program. As we set the field defensively for the Mustangs, James Martin will be out in left field, Nick Garver in center, Nate Alexander in right. At third base, Matt Godo. Second base, Ulysses Hernandez. First base, Aaron Anderson. And at shortstop, Michael Fitzsimmons. Behind the plate, directing traffic for the Mustangs this afternoon, Justin Flug. And on the mound, David Mendez. Mendez comes into today's ballgame 1-0. He picked up the win on Thursday in the first baseball game this season for the Mustangs. Going strong, 11 strikeouts for Mendez in that baseball game as he enters here to start today, this afternoon. Starting lineups for the visiting Valley Vikings. We only have names and numbers and last names here this afternoon, but out in left field, number 8, Wright. Shortstop, Gill. Batting second, number 3, the catcher, Huntington. At first base, number 5, Kearns. Pitching for the Vikings, number 12, Joseph. And in center field, number 7, Hodson. Playing third base, Brazel. Right field, Chacon. And batting ninth, playing second base, number 25, Bruns. Coaches are at home plate, exchanging lineups, going over ground rules as we get set here to get underway. Again, Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, American Legion Ballpark. The Mustangs at home today. This game originally scheduled for tomorrow. Bumped up 24 hours to allow Valley to get some rest before they head down south this weekend for their tournament. As we get set to take you towards opening pitch. Mustangs back in action this Saturday on the road. We'll have both games for you. They're going to be playing at noon against Northridge, then loading up and traveling by bus down the road to Berthoud, where that game will take place at 4 o'clock. Noon and 4 on Saturday. We'll have both those games for you here on B106, B106.com. You can follow us pitch by pitch all season long. KSIRsports.com, KSIRsports.com. Pitch by pitch, we're entering everything electronically this year. You can follow us in all the action. Click on the appropriate game and Mustang link, whether it's phone or home computer, any device that has an internet, you can view it. Listen to our sweet voices all year long and follow us pitch by pitch on the iScore app by ESPN on KSIRsports.com. Braden, Coach Langford, aggressive. Good 2 wins for the Mustangs coming out of the Mustang Classic, and here we are today, a beautiful 70-degree afternoon as the Mustangs take the field, and we head towards opening pitch.
Yeah, it is. You couldn't ask for a better day for baseball. About 65 degrees out, 70 maybe. But Mustangs are going to look to run the bases. This is a Valley Ball Club that I'm pretty sure they know they can take advantage of. Never played a game this year. Mustangs have got 3 under their belt. Worked out most of the kinks. You're going to look for them to be aggressive at the plate and really take advantage of this.
No, it's a great point. I mean, Langford's a very aggressive coach. We've seen him work back picks behind the trail runner in every baseball game this year. Successful against Platte Valley and Brush. Runners on first and second, and Anderson and Frisbee. 2 Mustangs first basemen able to sneak back behind there to get those back pick outs. A lot of things the Mustangs have worked on in those 3 games and have applied and put a lot of pressure on the ball clubs they've faced here in the early part of the season, and expect no different here today against Valley. And something Langford talked about, Coach Josh Langford, the head Mustangs coach, in our interview preseason and in all these discussions we've had with him before games. His team has speed, and he's going to force defenses to control that running game, and if they don't, they're going to take advantage of that and exploit it. And here early this season, we've already got quite a few Mustangs with stolen bases, and the Mustangs putting up 28 runs already this season in 3 games. If you eliminate the 1 batting against Brush, as we discussed the last time on the air, the Mustangs are 3-0 and on their way towards good things as we head towards Tri-Valley League play. But nonetheless, the Mustangs sit 2-1, playing a Valley Vikings ball club here this afternoon at Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, Colorado. A home game for the Mustangs as the umpire points his finger to David Mendez and says, let's get underway. First pitch on the way, a fastball down and outside, ball one, and this baseball game's underway. Mendez on the mound working with Flug. Mendez gets the sign, right-hander winds up and delivers. The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled back. Counts now 1-1 strike on the number one hitter for the Vikings, number 8, Wright.
And Josh, David Mendez threw 11 strikeouts when we saw him. It did take him an inning to get underway, but when he did, boy, it was game on after that.
Yeah, and for Mendez in that first game, he pitched 5 solid innings, didn't allow a run, and didn't allow a hit for that matter, and struck out 11, only walking 2. So a great first performance for him early this season, as the 1-1 pitch is also fouled off. And the count now goes to 1-2. The 1-2 payoff pitch on its way. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, a good fastball high and at the letters, got right to Chase. And that's going to be the first out here this inning, as Mendez collects his now 12th strikeout early in this 2012 season, and has proven he can get guys out on his own. As Gill steps into the plate, takes the 0-0 pitch for a strike right down the middle, and falls quickly behind 0-1. Beautiful day here in Fort Morgan. Mustangs in their home cardinal maroon red tops, white pants. As the 0-1 pitch is on its way, misses a little bit inside, ball 1. 1-1 strike. Mendez no different than Thursday, works quickly. Pitch on its way, fastball on the inside part of the plate, just misses. As the count goes to 2-1 strike. Mendez gets the sign from Flug. Wind up curveball on the inside part of the plate, strike 2. Good curveball by Mendez, evens things up. 2 strikes. Top half of the first inning, 1 out, as Mendez delivers the payoff pitch. Curveball swung on and missed, strike 2 outs, strike 3. Mendez making quick work of the top 2 hitters for the Vikings, as number 4 Huntington steps into the box for Valley. As the Mustangs have a quick 2 outs here to begin this baseball game. Mendez, his fastball's low and in the dirt, ball 1 to Huntington. Mendez working quickly, always like to see that as a coach. Keeps your defense on their toes and doesn't allow them to fall asleep, as the 1-0 pitch is on its way. Fastball low and outside, ball 2. Get 2 quick outs. Did Mendez. Got to be careful to not let the 3-hole hitter get away from him and put a runner on base, as ball 3 is delivered high and at the letters, and the count now goes to 3-0. On deck, number 5 Kearns for the Vikings waits. As the 3-0 pitch is on its way and called for the strike. 3-1 strike. Again, if you're just joining us, Mustangs baseball here on B106 and B106.com. You can follow us all year. KSIRsports.com, pitch by pitch, as ball 4 is delivered. And that's going to give the Vikings their first runner here this afternoon. The Mustangs defensively, James Martin out in left, Nick Garver in center, Nate Alexander in right. Anderson holds the runner on at first. Ulysses Hernandez and Fitzsimmons working up the middle for the Mustangs. Goto on the hot corner at third. Mendez on the mound here with 13 strikeouts early on this season, 2 here today. And Flug working behind the plate. Fastball low and inside, ball 1 here to Kearns. Not much speed from the looks of it at first. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning, as the Mustangs look to head to the bottom half and score some runs. Mendez gives a quick check of the runner at first, but nothing doing. 1-0 pitch on its way. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 1. Big swing by number 5 Kearns, stepping a little bit in the bucket. Pulled off of that pitch and unable to come up with it, as Mendez evens the count. 1-1 strike. Gets the sign from Flug before he comes set and checks the runner at first in Huntington. 1-1 pitch on its way. Runner moving. Fouled straight back. Runner will go back to first there on that foul ball here, as Mendez has jumped out ahead. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Kearns. Looked like a hit and run there with the runner in motion and hitter swinging. Pitch was up a little bit, not a pitch you'd want to swing at in most other hitting counts. As Mendez sets to deliver the 1-2 pitch with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Mendez sets, check of the runner, fastball high and inside. Ball 2.
Josh, that sounded like it caught the bat. Did it come back off the ricochet, or I heard ball on metal there?
Yeah, May came up. It was definitely high and inside. May came off Fluke's glove and caught the bat as they made contact a couple times as Fluke chased down that loose ball. 2-2 the count. Quick throw over by Mendez, keeping that runner close over at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. As Mendez sets to deliver his 2-2 pitch. Curveball. Called strike 3. Mendez takes care of it on his own. 3 strikeouts in the top half of the first inning. The Vikings leave a runner stranded. After 1/2 inning in the scorebook, the Mustangs 0, the Vikings 0. We'll take a quick break listening to Fort Morgan Baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider here, Fort Morgan, Colorado, American Legion Ballpark, Eddie Underwood Field, where the Mustangs, after 1/2 inning, get set to head to the plate for their first plate appearances here this afternoon. Due up for the Mustangs leading off Nick Garver, followed by Matt Godo, and in the hole due up third this inning, Michael Fitzsimmons. Garver he heads to the plate to lead off for the Mustangs. Had a pretty solid weekend here at the Mustang Classic, finishing the weekend batting .375, which the season's still early, but Garver's proven he can get on base and will use his speed as he's ran pretty freely around the bases this weekend. As the final warm-up pitches are being tossed here by the pitcher Joseph for the Vikings. Godo had a big 3-run home run in the first baseball game of the season on Thursday. Our pitcher David Mendez had a solo home run as well. The only 2 home runs we saw in the first 3 baseball games.
Those 2 home runs right there kind of started off everything as Mendez started it and Godo followed it up, and Mustangs never looked back. Once they get on a roll, they're streaky. Once they get hot, boy, if you're the other team, you could be in trouble.
Yeah, the Mustangs are hot right now offensively. They're scoring 11 runs in their last outing, taking advantage of a lot of extra opportunities, whether it be walks or errors. But nonetheless, Garver takes strike 1 on the inside part of the plate. Garver likes to use the middle of the field. Left center and right centers, outside of the couple bunt attempts he's made, is about covers the bases of all parts he's used this season, straight up the middle. The 0-1 pitch, called a ball, as the count's now 1 ball, 1 strike on Garver. The right-hander for the Vikings set to deliver the 1-1 pitch. Fastball low and inside. Garver didn't even think about it as he takes ball 2. Coach Josh Langford in the third base box for the Mustangs. Assistant coach Steve Hale down the line at first. Bottom half of the first inning just underway here at the Underwood Field in Fort Morgan. Home game for the Mustangs, originally scheduled for Tuesday, tomorrow. Moved up 24 hours in assisting this Valley club who needs a little extra rest before they head towards tournament play this weekend. 3-1 pitch on the way, taken by Garver, ball 4. Leadoff walk and base runner here for the Mustangs as we're in business here early. As Matt Godo steps to the plate. Garver with speed. As Godo and Garver get a check from Coach Langford with the signs at third. Interesting to see here if the right-hander works from the slide step or gives Garver the chance to steal the base. Quick step off makes Garver aware he's thinking about him. Now the right-hander back on the mound. Pitch on the way to Godo. Swung on and hit the right field. A fly ball. Looks like it should be handled by the right fielder, Chacon. Chacon unable to come up with it as it bounces behind his head. And Braden, we talked about it in the And the Mustang Express, Valley playing their first ball game, likely have spent a lot of time indoors here early this season as weather hasn't necessarily cooperated or may not have given them the chance here to see a lot of fly balls. And the high blue sky here today. That ball gets away from the right fielder, and Mustangs in business with 2 base runners.
Yeah, and that sun is just right behind our box to the right, and that sun's brutal. Once that ball gets up there, it's hard to judge where it's going to come down.
First pitch on its way to Fitzsimmons, misses outside, ball 1. Mustangs with runners here, first and second. Garver at first, the leadoff batter with a walk. Godo reaching on the air here with the right fielder, missing the fly ball. As the 1-0 pitch is fouled off, a bunt attempt by Fitzsimmons. As it's fouled off to the left side in front of the Mustangs bench. 1-1 the count here to Michael Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons pitched the last ball game here on Saturday. Threw very well. Mustangs not hurting for pitching here early in this 2012 season. Fitzsimmons squares the bunt, pulls back as the curveball misses, and the count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike.
CTO Charlie's for a great used car truck today. If you don't see what you want on the lot, they will find it for you at 700 West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan.
2-1 pitch on its way, swung on, hit down the left field line. Garver's going to score easily as Godo pulls up at second base, and the Mustangs off to a quick start and lead the Valley Vikings here early, 1-0 on that RBI single by Michael Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons had shown bunt there early in the count, but as we've discussed, Coach Langford is very aggressive and gave Fitzsimmons the ability to swing away there, and Fitzsimmons handled it well, driving in the run. As Aaron Anderson, the left-handed swinging stick, steps up to the plate. Anderson takes the first pitch for a strike.
Josh, this is something different that you and I haven't seen before. As the Mustangs are trying to get this little bunt down to advance the runners. That's something we didn't see a whole lot of in the Spring Classic.
Anderson gets the bunt down left side, and he's going to have the speed to beat it out. Everybody's going to be safe. Ideally in that situation, first and second, nobody out. You're just trying to get the early lead, move 2 runners into scoring position, and sacrifice the hitter in Anderson. But Anderson, a great placed bunt down the third base line, and the speed to beat it out, and the Mustangs now have the bases loaded. As Justin Flug, the catcher, steps up to the plate for the Mustangs, he's got ducks on the pond and the chance to drive in some runs and blow this game open.
Justin Flug, one of the top 3 leaders of this Mustang ball club last year in RBI, so this is your ideal hitter you want in this situation.
Flug swung on, hit down the left field line. Looks like it's going to stay fair, and does. Mustangs in motion here as Godo's going to score easily. Throw on the way to the plate. Fitzsimmons wheeling, and he's in there. And the Mustangs in business here early. A good throw by the left fielder gave the Vikings a chance, but Fitzsimmons just a little too quick as he was able to slide around the catcher there at the plate. And the Mustangs now lead here 3-0. Anderson going first to third, and Flugs stays put at first, and Flug's going to have a courtesy runner in Jacob Frick.
Ackley Building Center, your one-stop center for projects around your home, office, or yard. Ackley Building Center, located at 1402 Mill Street in Brush.
Mustangs now here with base runners, first and third. Aaron Anderson at third base for the Mustangs. Jacob Frick, the courtesy runner, replacing Mustang catcher Flug at first as James Martin steps in and takes the first pitch for a ball, fastball outside. Martin's got hot this weekend and had a great ball game on Saturday as he's set to receive the 1-0 pitch. Big cut, fouled off right side as the count now goes to 1-1. James Martin in that game on Saturday was 2 for 3 with a variety of RBIs and really blew the game wide open in the middle part of that baseball game. Counts 1-1. Mustangs lead here, bottom of the first inning, 3-0 as the curveball's taken high, ball 2. Mustangs And Martins, check Coach Langford, who runs through a set of signs at third. 2-1 pitch on its way, swung on, fouled high, and out of play right side as the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 solid cuts by James Martins. As it's a little bit behind that fastball here early of Joseph. Mustangs still with no outs in the bottom of the first inning and lead here early 3-0. 2-2 pitch on its way, fouled straight back as Martins works to stay alive.
Josh, this being one of the pitchers that we've seen in these first 4 games that the Mustangs have played with the most velocity. You said I wasn't at that Brush game, and you said Brush had some good velocity, but other than that, this has really been the Mustangs' true test for velocity-wise.
2-2 curveball misses high, runners in motion, throw down, nothing doing, as now the Mustangs have 2 runners in scoring position as Frick advances. That curveball called for a ball as the count's now full on James Martins. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Martins. Frick with the stolen base in scoring position now as the 3-2 pitch is taken low and outside, ball 4, and the Mustangs fill the bases right back up.
Good at bat there by Martins, making Joseph work and throw quite a few pitches in there as he fouled 3 balls off and then took that count to a 3-2 count and eventually getting the walk. Good, smart piece of hitting there by James Martins.
Yeah, and the Mustangs now here with David Mendez stepping into the box. He's quick to take the first cut. And it's a line drive. A lot of confusion out there, but a line drive by the Mustangs. It was caught at short. Mustangs in motion and running. And it looked like, see what the umpires clarify here, but umpire's not sure really what they've decided to call. But the line drive was caught at short by the shortstop. They doubled up Jacob Frick as he was off the base, but from the looks of it, Aaron Anderson was able to tag and score. But they're going to clarify this and clean things up as Langford wants an explanation.
Buildings by Design. The most important thing to buying a new building or starting a new design build project is picking the right company to build it. Call Pat Walter, Travis Lefevre, or Jared Temples for your free bid. 970-842-5837. Buildingsbydesign.com.
So Frick's doubled up on the line drive. He wasn't able to get back, but Martins advances to second. Anderson advances to home and scores, making this a 4-0 ball game, and Cole Frisbee's going to step up to the plate. As Frick was forced and doubled up on that line drive. Well hit by Mendez, but nonetheless, runner at second here for the Mustangs and Martins as Cole Frisbee takes ball 1, a fastball down and outside. James Martins, the left fielder for the Mustangs, off at second, checked quickly by the pitcher. And now the 1-0 pitch on the way to Frisbee, taken for a strike on the outside part of the plate. Good fastball by Joseph as the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike to the left-handed power hitter Frisbee. 1-1 pitch by Joseph, a changeup on the outside part of the plate, taken for ball 2. 2-1 the count on Cole Frisbee. Frisbee the DH here today for the Mustangs. Set to receive the 2-1 pitch. Fastball outside, ball 3. As Joseph now here in this bottom half of the first inning is laboring and already approaching, and this will be pitch number 25 this inning. As Joseph works, excuse me. 3-1, check swing by Frisbee. It's going to be strike 2, and the count's going to fill up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning on that double play. Umpire was very slow to get his hand up. Langford with that assumed ball had hit the ground and put his runner in motion, but umpire did say it was caught, and that double play here's got 2 outs as Frisbee fouls the fastball off over the third base dugout. Staying alive with the count 3-2. Not sure quite frankly, if the Valley coaches would have appealed, they may have been able to get out of the inning. I was unable to see if Anderson and Martin even tagged up, but nonetheless, Anderson scores, making this a 4-0 ball game, and Martins moves on to second as Frisbee fouls the 3-2 pitch straight back to stay alive. 2 good cuts here by Frisbee as he works to get on base for driving this run here out at second base. 3:07, the shortest part in the park down the right field line for the left-handed hitting Frisbee. Frisbee's proven this year he can hit balls to the left side of the field and right side of the field. As the 3-2 pitch is on its way, a curveball in the dirt taken for ball 4. It's going to bring up the 9th hitter this inning for the Mustangs, Ulysses Hernandez, the second baseman. Mustangs have runners at second and at first. James Martins, the left fielder, at second. Frisbee with the walk at first. Ulysses comes up to the plate. And he's been pretty productive early on this season as the Valley pitching coach wants to talk over things with his pitcher on the mound. And Coach Langford calls the base runners to discuss some things with them as well.
Morgan Federal Bank, your one-stop shop for all of your banking and investment needs, from checkings to savings to IRAs. 321 Ensign Street, Morgan Federal Bank. There's a difference. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
To set the table on where we're at this point in the baseball game, still early and just underway as we've got 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Mustangs off to a quick start, leading here early 4-0. They have runners at second and first, and Martins and Frisbee. Ulysses Hernandez steps in to receive the pitch, swung on, high pop-up right side. First baseman's got to have a play on it, in foul territory. The foul ball is caught and is going to end the inning for the Mustangs. With 1 in the books, Fort Morgan 4, Valley nothing. Take a quick break. You're listening to Fort Morgan Baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Snyder back here covering Fort Morgan baseball here on a beautiful afternoon in Fort Morgan. Mustangs lead and off to a quick start, scoring 4 runs in the bottom of that first inning. And lead here early 4-0 as Mendez wraps up with his warm-up pitches. Due up here for the Vikings. Number 12, Joseph, number 7, Hodson, and number 24, Brazel. The 5, 6, 7 hitters for Valley. Mustangs there had the opportunity to blow this thing even more open than it is, and that line drive caught by the shortstop, able to convert it into a double play as Frick got a little too far off, but some confusion there with a late call by the umpire as all the Mustang runners were in motion, and nonetheless got out of that jam. That double play helped the Valley Vikings. And Ulysses' pop-up in foul territory ended the inning. Now we're set for the top of the second. As Mendez waits for the Valley hitter. He's ready to go and wants a hitter up there, but the Valley hitter's concocting some sort of a game plan if they're able to in the on-deck circle. And now Joseph steps into the box. As Mendez winds up, delivers. Fastball right down Broadway, strike 1. Mendez with good velocity. He's throwing anywhere between 81 and 84 in his first outing on Thursday. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball high inside, ball 1. As the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Joseph, the 5 hitter for Valley, the visiting team here today. Curveball got away from Mendez just a little bit as the count now moves 2 balls, 1 strike. Top of the second inning, Mustangs lead 4-0. Mustangs at home here today on a beautiful day in Fort Morgan. 2-1 pitch, and again a curveball misses high and inside, ball 3. And the 3-1 pitch here on the way as Mendez winds up, delivers. Right-hander's fastball, good for a strike. Making it a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Mendez winds up, gets the sign from Flug, payoff pitch on its way. Fastball fouled off right side. As Joseph stays alive.
Looks like Valley's game plan is they really don't want to swing. They've watched all of these pitches go by, and then this one was just a little check, excuse me, swing. Let's see what happens here.
3-2 pitch by Mendez on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. Mendez has good velocity. These hitters from Valley, seeing their first live pitching this year, have struggled here early as Mendez picks up now his third strikeout here early in this baseball game.
Central Auto Parts, for all of your auto supply needs. Stop by Central Auto Parts on West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan.
Fastball by Mendez, misses down and inside, ball 1 to Hodson. Second hitter this inning for the Vikings. Mendez's 1-0 pitch. Fastball for a strike. Right at the knees as the count moves to 1-1. Flug and Mendez on the same page here early as the 1-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 2. Mendez throwing as many pitches here in 1.5 innings as Valley's pitcher threw on the first inning alone. And the 1-2 pitch, a changeup, a little bit high. That's a good miss by Mendez as the count now moves to 2-2. Mendez looking to likely end the at-bat here with a fastball on the inner part of the plate. Instead misses a little bit high and fills it back up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. As Mendez of the Mustangs gets a sign from Justin Flug. 3-2 pitch on its way. Down and outside, ball 4. Only 2 base runners here this afternoon have reached on walks. Mendez had a total of 2 walks in his first outing on Thursday. He's equaled that here early today as we're only through 1 1/3. Brazel, number 24, steps in for the Vikings. Mendez, a quick check of the runner. His fastball on its way. Down and inside, ball 1. Aaron Anderson holding on the base runner at first for the Mustangs. Garver and Martin shading to the left side of the second base bag on defense out there in the outfield for the Mustangs. And the 1-0 pitch on its way. Runner going. Throw by Flug is a good one. Is the tag in time? No.
Close play by Flug. That was a good throw. A little bit high.
Good throw. It sailed on him a little bit the last minute there. Fitzsimmons able to get it and make a tag, but umpire says a little late. Count moves to 1 ball, 1 strike. Valley now has a runner on second base as Mendez has a sign from Flug. Quick jockey by Hernandez and Fitzsimmons up the middle with the runner at second, and the 1-1 pitch is misses high and outside, ball 2. Right-handed hitter here for the Vikings. Mendez, the right-handed pitcher for the Mustangs, set to deliver the 2-1 pitch. Right-hander delivers. Curveball, fouled straight back. Evens things up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You can follow us all year, pitch by pitch, on ESPN's Gamecast as we enter all the statistics here electronically on the iScore application. You guys can go and listen to us and follow us pitch by pitch, KSIRsports.com.
And if you have the opportunity to see it, I highly recommend doing it. It is really cool to watch. The minute Josh submits everything and clicks it, it's there. It's neat.
You can also go back and replay games of the past as the scoreboard will stay current all year for the Mustangs. As the 2-2 pitch is fouled off over West Street, and the count here stays 2-2 as number 24, Brazel, for the Vikings, fights to stay alive. 1 out, top of the second inning. Mustangs lead early, 4-0. Mendez's 2-2 pitch, fouled straight back with the fastball. As Mendez gets a new baseball from the umpire, quick check of the runner at second, being worked by Fitzsimmons at short. Quick pickoff play. Is it in time? No. Looked like that Viking may have struggled to get his hand in there late as Fitzsimmons put down the quick tag on a set design pickoff play by Mendez and Fitzsimmons there.
I thought he had him.
Looked like it from here. It was a good move by the Mustangs pitcher and shortstop as the 2-2 pitch misses, filling things up, full count. Mendez has struggled a little bit here in this second inning. Falling behind to a couple hitters here as the 3-2 pitch is on its way. Fastball, strike 3 on the inside part of the plate, and that'll be the second out this inning. Both outs coming here on strikeouts by David Mendez as Valley brings up their next hitter. Number 18, Chacon, right-handed hitter, set to take on the right-hand throwing Mustang, David Mendez. Fitzsimmons works the runner at second again. Now sets and returns to his position. Fastball on its way, high and inside. Ball one. Mendez laboring here a little bit in the second, as he's proven to be very accurate and efficient here early this season. The 1-0 pitch right down Broadway is fouled off over the right first base dugout. The visiting dugout down the first base line. As things even up here, 1 ball, 1 strike on Chacon. Mendez gets the sign from Flug. Fitzsimmons works the runner at second, as Mendez now delivers the 1-1 pitch. Swung on again, fouled off right side over the first base dugout, and Mendez here is ahead with one count being 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nate Alexander out in right field better be ready, because the hitter here a little bit behind the fastball of Mendez. 1-2 pitch on its way. Fouled right side again as Chacon fights to stay alive.
Ooh, and that ball found the front door of that house. I heard it, watched it bounce off the front door.
Interesting setup here at Fort Morgan if you've never been or listening to us somewhere else. Railroad tracks riding right parallel to the third base line and behind the press box. Strike 3. David Mendez, curveball on the outside part of the plate, was taken by Chacon to end the inning. 3 strikeouts for David Mendez. The Vikings leave a runner stranded at second, and with 2 in the books, Fort Morgan 4, Valley nothing. You're listening to Mustangs Baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider back here. A home game for the Mustangs. Fort Morgan, Colorado, Eddie Underwood Field at American Legion Park, where the Mustangs off to a quick start lead the visiting Valley Vikings 4-0. Mustangs scoring 4 runs on 3 hits, capitalizing on an error and leaving 2 runners on base. As the Mustangs back on offense here, back to the top of the lineup as they batted around in that first inning. Nick Garver steps into the plate. Center fielder for the Mustangs, picked up a walk in his first at-bat, and he's ready to go to work here for the Mustangs as the right-hander delivers. Fastball in the dirt, ball 1 by Joseph. Good stop there by the Vikings catcher in Huntington. Did well there to keep that ball in front of him. The wind-up and the 1-0 pitch on its way. Fastball bunt, and it's going to squeak foul. Garver trying to catch the corner, sleeping there on the Vikings defense. Unable to get the ball in play as the count goes to 1-1. Garver's got great speed, very aggressive, very smart baseball player. He's proven that here early this season. As the 1-1 pitch is on its way. Swung on and grounded hard to the left side. Fielded by the third baseman and thrown across the diamond. Throw's going to be wild as Garver's going to continue on to second and get there easily. Great play by the third baseman who was playing in, expecting maybe another bunt. Had to leave his feet to field the ground ball. But Rush getting up and sailed it on the first baseman as it found the fence. And Garver continued on there to second base. And that's going to bring up Matt Godo here, the number 2 hitter for the Mustangs, third baseman. Godo gets the quick sign from Coach Langford. Garver quick to get off at second. Garver with a lot of speed. Pitch fouled off by Godo.
Visit Platte Valley Hearing Center at their new location at 409 East Platte Avenue, and they will continue to get your hearing to its very best.
0-1 the count here on Godo as he fouled that baseball off over the first base dugout. Curveball on its way, misses high and inside. Godo better be careful. Almost tried to throw his elbow into that one. If that's the case, he'll have to stay put. Got to be making an attempt to get out of the way of the baseball, not an attempt to be getting in front of it. 1-1's the count on Godo. Pitch on its way. Taking ball 2 outside as the count moves to 2-1. Godo even there may look like he may have tried to put something on a push bunt of some kind with that first baseman playing pretty deep here. for the Vikings. As Garver's off the bag at second. The 2-1 pitch is skied. Middle part of the field. First baseman's under it. It's going to make the catch for the first out this inning. Goto just got a little bit under that fastball and skied it. First baseman made a big run at that, catching it almost in front of the second baseman for the first out here this inning for the Mustangs. That's going to bring Michael Fitzsimmons to the plate. Fitzsimmons, first pitch swinging, drives the ball to left field. Round third is Garver. Garver should get there easily and does, and Fitzsimmons picks up another RBI here in this baseball game. And his second hit, as the Mustangs have added one to their lead and now lead 5-0. Anderson checks with Coach Langford. Nothing really doing as Fitzsimmons is off the bag. And a quick throw over by the pitcher, Joseph. Fitzsimmons with good speed as well. And the 0-0 pitch on its way down and outside. Ball one to Aaron Anderson, left-handed swinging stick. Anderson is DH'd and played first here early this season. Today out in the field is playing first base. As Aaron sets to receive the 1-0 pitch. Fastball outside, ball two. 2-0 the count here on Aaron Anderson. Fitzsimmons making some noise over there at first has caught the attention of Joseph, who's trying to quickly get that ball to the plate to give his catcher a chance to throw him out if it's needed. Quick back pick on that pitch by the catcher to first, but nothing doing as Aaron Anderson takes strike one. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the second inning, Mustangs lead 5-0 as the 2-1 pitch is on its way. Fastball outside, looked to be a hit and run scenario as Anderson had a swing to protect the base runner. Fitzsimmons gets in easily to second. As the count now goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes. In a hit and run situation, Anderson had a swing, but that ball was a wild pitch. Hung on well by the catcher, but nonetheless here Aaron Anderson now takes ball 3 as he works the count to a full count situation. 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Aaron Anderson. As the Mustangs now have yet again another runner in scoring position. 3-2 pitch on its way. Swung on, fouled back. Good cut there by Anderson as he works to stay alive. 43 pitches now for the pitcher Joseph for Valley, and early on in this season I'd imagine he'll be on some sort of a pitch count. Would anticipate he'd come out of this game here as Anderson drives the ball left center field over the shortstop's head. It's going to fall in front of the left fielder. Fitzsimmons is going to score easily as Anderson picks up the RBI and extends this lead for the Mustangs to 6.
Good piece of hitting there by Anderson, having to battle back after Valley's pitcher got a little wild, started pitching all over the zone, and then Anderson throws a little chop swing and pokes one right to the left center gap.
Yeah, Anderson, the left-handed hitter there, got a fastball a little bit in on his hands and able to fight it off over the shortstop's head for the base hit and the RBI single. As Justin Flug, the Mustangs catcher, steps into the box and takes strike one. Flug a check of Coach Langford down the third base line. Anderson off the bag at first, held on by Kearns. Joseph, the right-handed pitcher, sets, now delivers a curveball. Weakly grounded to short. He's getting down the line quickly as the shortstop takes the easy feed to second and get the lead runner, Anderson. It's going to be 6-4. Anderson's out on the quick flip from the shortstop to second base as Flug's going to reach first on the fielder's choice.
Colorado Plains Medical Center, transforming lives each day. Colorado Plains Medical Center is where people choose to go for health care.
James Martins steps into the box for the Mustangs with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning, and he quickly goes after that first pitch by Joseph and fouls it off the end of the bat. Martins walked in his first plate appearance. I believe that's Jacob Frick back out, courtesy running for the catcher Fluke, so he can get geared up and ready to go as the 0-1 pitch is taken in the dirt for a ball as the count moves to 1-1 on James Martins. Pretty common at this level, even in the college level, that pitchers and catchers get courtesy runners without substitutions being charged to speed up the game, allowing the pitcher and catcher to get ready for the next inning's work. As a quick throw over here by Joseph to keep Frick in check. Frick did have that stolen base back the first time he was on base in the first inning. Martin's a big cut, swung on and missed. And a quick throw by the catcher down to first with nothing doing. 1-2 here, the count on Martins. Jacob Frick, big tall kid, out at first base, courtesy running for the Mustangs catcher Fluke. As Martin set to receive the 1-2 pitch, on its way in the dirt. Frick in motion and headed towards second, and he's going to be thrown out. Martins will come back up in the in the bottom of the third inning as Frick's caught stealing. And 2 complete and in the books. Fort Morgan leads Valley 6-0. You're listening to Mustang Baseball on B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider. Fort Morgan, Colorado, Eddie Underwood Field, where the Mustangs lead the visiting Valley Vikings 6-0 as we head towards the top of the third inning. Due up here, number 25, Brunts, number 8, Wright, and in the hole, due up third, number 11, Gill here for the Vikings in the top of the third inning. Mendez out for his third inning of work. 5 of 6 outs coming by the form of strikeouts as Mendez is established again. No different than Thursday. He can get guys out with his fastball as he misses here high and outside, ball 1. Valley still working through the first rotation of their lineup as this is the 9th hitter for Valley. As Mendez 1-0 curveball misses, ball 2. Like to see the pitcher work to get ahead there as he's now falling behind 2-0. 2-0 pitch on its way, high, ball 3. Good job by Flug to keep that ball in front of him as that ball was really high. Mendez reaching back to find a little more velocity, but in turn has been a little wild here. First thing, as that's going to be ball 4. Again, high as well. Mendez's arm's just dragging behind him there as he's got to get on that front side quicker and move that baseball down in the zone as Valley's now back to the top of their lineup. As Wright steps in, he struck out in his first plate appearance. Mendez delivers. Fastball inside part of the plate, strike 1. Good pitch right at the knees. Good adjustment there by David to get back in the zone after the leadoff walk. Quick throw over to Anderson, nothing doing. As the count's here 0-1. Mendez set. Checks the runner, pitch on its way, a bunt, fouled straight back. Good curveball, a lot of bite there. As Wright squared the bunt, not able to handle it as he fouls it off, and the count goes quickly to 0-2. Valley hitter looks down the line, gets the sign from his coach. Head coach for the Vikings, Steve Kistler. As the 0-2 pitch is on its way, swung on and missed, strike 3. That fastball was high and definitely out of the strike zone. A really solid 0-2 pitch by Mendez. Yes, the hitter just not able to hold up and goes down swinging. 1 out here, top of the third inning. Mustangs lead 6-0. As Gill steps to the plate for Valley, he struck out in the first inning as well. As Mendez's fastball, a good fastball, just a little bit inside, ball 1. Anderson holding on the runner at first. Mendez a couple glances his way before getting the sign from Flug. Now set. Right-hander's pitch on its way in the dirt, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Here the count on the number 2 hitter, Gill, for Valley. Mendez 2-0 pitch on its way, swung on and missed, strike 1. Good fastball by Mendez as Valley here early has shown they're not able to time or get ahead on that fastball of Mendez, as most pitches they've offered at, they've been behind on that fastball. 2-1 pitch by Mendez on its way, outside, ball 3. With that said, Mendez just has to do a good job of getting the ball in the zone and forcing these Valley hitters to swing at it, as they've, again, early haven't proven they've been able to hit that pitch. Anderson holds the runner on. Mendez, 3-1 pitch, swung on, grounded through the 5-6 hole. Fitzsimmons cheating up the middle there. Big hole left on the left side of the infield as the baseball gets through into left field, as Valley picks up their first hit in this baseball game and now has runners on first and second. I didn't see what the pitch was there, Braden, but it looks like Mendez may have helped that hitter out and speeding up his bat.
Yeah, it did. It looked like he just kind of took something off that pitch, and there it went. First Valley hitter we've seen take advantage of that.
Mendez gets set here now and throws the pitch to Huntington as he steps in. That curveball missing the dirt, ball 1. Huntington walked in his first at-bat back in the first inning. As the count falls quickly here to 1-0. Mendez the check of the runners. Quick jockey by Hernandez out at second, and the 1-0 pitch is fouled off. Evening things up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ulysses Hernandez, second baseman for the Mustangs, working the runner at second, keeping him close. Anderson plays 2 or 3 steps behind the runner here at first. We've seen a back pick move a couple times by the Mustangs here early this season as Mendez delivers the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball right side, Hernandez. Quickly sent on to Fitzsimmons, back to first, in time. 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Good job by Mendez to get that ground ball, and his defense did well there as 2.5's in the books. Fort Morgan 6, Valley nothing. Mustangs baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider bringing you Fort Morgan baseball coverage here at Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, Colorado, at American Legion Ballpark, as Mustangs got out of a jam there to end that top of the third inning with the 4-6-3 double play. Good quick turn by Fitzsimmons getting across to Anderson. It was bang-bang at first. Valley's coaching staff wanted an explanation in between innings from the umpire, but nonetheless we head here to the bottom of the third where the Mustangs lead 6-0. Due up for the Mustangs, James Martins. He was in the batter's box when Frick was thrown out on that stolen base, so he'll get another chance here to start things off in the third inning. On deck will be David Mendez, and due up third, the left-handed swinging bat of Cole Frisbee. Frisbee the DH here today for the Mustangs. Bottom of the third inning, Mustangs 6, Vikings nothing, as Fort Morgan's got off to a quick start again here today. Scoring runs has not been a problem for this Mustangs baseball team early this season, as they've scored a ton. As things are ready to go here, bottom of the third inning, the right-hander winds up, pitch on its way, taken high outside, ball 1. Martins walked in his first at-bat. He got hot here on Saturday and had a couple solid hits. One of them actually finding the pitcher of Meade, who was okay and able to walk off the field with, as Martins hits a shot to left field. Line drive, took 2 hops before the left fielder collected it as Martins leads things off with the single.
Northern Colorado Title. For all of your title needs, visit Tim Weimer at Northern Colorado Title at 205 West Kiowa in Fort Morgan.
Mendez comes up to the plate, flew out in his first at-bat to the shortstop as he takes ball 1, a slider in the dirt. Martins has good speed. Mustangs have proven here early and will prove all year to be a very aggressive ball club on the base paths, at the plate, and on defense, as Martins gets a throw from the pitcher. Nothing doing, as Joseph wants to know he's thinking about him and throws the ball over there to first base. 1 ball, no strikes. Right-hander's pitch on its way. Swung on, grounded left side. Third baseman dives, keeps the ball in front of him. Not able to come up with it, as Mendez is going to beat that out. Mustangs now going to have runners at first and second as Cole Frisbee steps up to the plate. Left-handed swinging bat for the Mustangs. Mustangs with base runners at first and second. Frisbee squares the bunt. Left side and does so successfully. Fielded by the pitcher. Nowhere to throw it. Everybody's going to be safe. Frisbee not the guy you necessarily think to bunt, but with runners on first and second, if you are going to bunt, the one place you want to put it is down the third base line and eliminate that force out at third. The pitcher was the one that fielded the baseball right on the line. Looked to third, but by then Martins was already standing up and safe at third base. Ulysses Hernandez steps into the box for the Mustangs. First pitch swinging, fouled off. 0-1 the count here early to Ulysses. He fouled off a pitch in his first at-bat, which was caught in foul territory by the first baseman, Kearns, just behind the first base bag to end things back in his first at-bat. The 0-1 pitch on its way, misses wildly outside, ball 1. 1-1 the count here on Ulysses Hernandez. Bases loaded for the Mustangs. To set the table, Martins at third, Mendez at second, and Frisbee at first as the 1-1 pitch on its way, and Ulysses fouls it off straight back and falls behind here 1-2. Catcher out to talk to his pitcher. I'm sure he saw what I did, and Mendez was relaying signs from second base to the hitter, Hernandez, at the plate. And I'd imagine the catcher and pitcher right now discussing ways to disguise what's coming to the hitter, Hernandez. 1-2 the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ulysses Hernandez, who started that 4-6-3 double play to end the top half of the third inning. As the right-hander delivers, swung on, belted, deep left center field. Nobody's going to be able to get to it on time as it hits the wall. Runners moving for the Mustangs. Martins is going to score easily, as is Mendez. And Frisbee moves up 90 feet to second base on the long single. It's a short left center gap here as both center fielder and left fielder had a beat on it. Mustangs doing the smart thing and waiting here to tag and make sure the ball wasn't caught before advancing, as Frisbee able to only move up 90 feet. It's going to bring the leadoff hitter for the Mustangs, Nick Garver, back to the plate with runners here at first and second, and the Mustangs have blown this game open and now lead 8-0. Bunt shown by Garver. Ball misses high and outside, ball 1. Garver 0 for 1 here today, reached on an error and a walk. Hard hit ball to third base his last time up. Squares to bunt, does so. Is it going to stay fair? No.
Stop by 302 Main Street in Fort Morgan for Bijou T-Quest's letter jackets, t-shirts, banners, and more. They're also your local experts in customizing your team's sports apparel. That's Bijou T-Quest at 302 Main Street in Fort Morgan.
1-1 the count on Nick Garver, center fielder for the Mustangs. 0 for 1 here today with a walk. 1-1 pitch on its way. Garver squares again, nothing doing. Pulls it back. Catcher wants to make sure Frisbee's on his toes and throws down to second base. That's a risky throw. But nonetheless, Frisbee able to get back. As Frisbee's at second, Ulysses Hernandez at first. Nick Garver, the 1-2 count. Thought that was a ball, Braden, and maybe the scorekeeper or scoreboard operator's wrong, but nonetheless it shows 1-2 as Garver's swinging a drive right center, a long run for the right fielder. He's able to get there, but not able to come up with the baseball as the ball is missed again by the right fielder. That's the second time in this baseball game that Chacon out and right hasn't been able to come up with it. Everybody moves up 90 feet. And Mustangs back in business here with no outs in the bottom of the third inning, and lead here already 8-0 as Coach wants to go out and talk things over with his ball club. We'll take a quick break. Mustangs lead 8-0. We're going to have a pitching change. We'll be back with those changes as Matt Godo due up here for the Mustangs. Fort Morgan leads 8-0. B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider bringing you Fort Morgan baseball action here, a home game for the Mustangs. Originally scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday, but moved up 24 hours as Coach Langford accommodating this Valley team who's got a tournament this weekend and needed the extra day of rest. So we bring this home game to you where the Mustangs lead 8-0. Valley with a pitching change. They're going to move their shortstop in to now pitch, which is Gill, and they're going to bring Matsuyama off the bench to go to short. A lot of this Valley ball club coming off a basketball season, so they haven't had much time together as far as practice is concerned. And this is also their first baseball game this season, as the Mustangs already have 3 under the belt and momentum on their side. Mustangs lead, bottom of the third inning. There's no outs. The bases are loaded. And Matt Godo steps into the plate as number 11, Gill, set to deliver his first pitch here this afternoon. Wind up. Fastball on the inside part of the plate. Strike one.
If you're Godo, you're looking at his Gill doesn't have near as much velocity. He's going to be looking to jump on one of these pitches and take it deep to a gap or even put it over.
Grounded hard left side, fielded by the third baseman, thrown quickly to the plate for the force out, and they're going to turn the double play, getting Godo on the turn from catcher to first. It's going to go down in the books as a 5-2-3 double play, as Mustangs will now have base runners at second and third as Michael Fitzsimmons steps up to the plate. Pitch swung on and missed. Strike one to Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons 2 for 2 with 2 singles into left field. If he does that here, this is going to be a 10-0 ball game. And just as I say it, he knocks it into left field. Runners moving. Both are going to score easily as Fitzsimmons now has had his third single. All RBI singles, and the Mustangs now lead 10-0.
And the last 2 of Fitzsimmons' 3 hits have been almost in the identical spots. His first one came with bases loaded, and he puts one just on the inside of the third base line. And then these next 2 to that same spot.
Aaron Anderson, left-handed swinging stick, enters the batter's box with Fitzsimmons down the line on first base. Mustangs, bottom of the third inning, lead 10-0. Quick throw over by Gill, keeping Fitzsimmons close. Nothing doing as Anderson awaits his first pitch. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning as curveball misses outside, ball 1. One-0 pitch on its way by the right-hander after a quick check of the runner. Misses low and in the dirt, ball 2. 2-0 the count on Aaron Anderson. Fitzsimmons here's got to be the player of the game as he's 3 for 3 with, I'll have to get the total RBI count here, but at least 5 RBIs. As the 2-0 pitch is on its way, hits sharply to the shortstop, makes a great diving catch. Anderson's going to go down on the line out, and that's going to end the Mustangs inning. Well struck by Anderson. Can't complain there if you're the coach. With 3 in the books, Fort Morgan 10, Valley nothing. We'll take a quick break. B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider for Morgan Baseball here. A home game for the Mustangs. 3 in the books as the Mustangs lead 10-0. 11 hits, leaving 4 runners on base. As Mendez is out and set to begin his 4th inning of work. It looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Valley and Joe Dellenbach. Big 6'7" basketball player for Valley. Going to step into the box, left-handed swinging stick to start things off.
And you look at him stand next to Justin Flug and makes Justin Flug look like a dwarf, and Flug's 5'11". And Dellenbach, you gotta watch his power. As you know, he's got to be a power hitter.
Interesting to see here with Dellenbach coming off this basketball season as to where and how much time he's had swinging the bat here this year. Imagine we'll see a couple changes this inning as the coach for the Vikings, Coach Steve Kistler, and the home plate umpire make some changes. And Mendez continues to throw as the umpire makes these changes on his scorecard.
Insurance Connections, whether it's health, life, or dental insurance, or Medicare supplements, see Sharon Kaufman at Insurance Connections today.
Setting the field for you defensively for the Mustangs as we stand here top of the 4th inning. James Martin's out in left field, Nick Garver in center, Nate Alexander in right. Working up the middle today for the Mustangs at short, Michael Fitzsimmons and Ulysses Hernandez at second. Aaron Anderson on first. Anderson a hard line drive to end that 3rd inning for the Mustangs. The hot corner, Matt Godo. Directing traffic behind the plate, Justin Flug, and David Mendez, the pitcher, delivers the fastball high and outside. Ball 1 here to Joe Dellenbach, a big left-handed bat. As Dellenbach takes strike 1, the count now 1-1 strike. As Mendez gets the sign here from Flug, winds up, and now the right-hander delivers. Curveball high and outside, ball 2.
And Josh, what are some of the advantages of being a taller hitter?
Tall left-handed hitter, you know your go-to pitch is the one down and in. Let those big arms get extended and get you some lift to hit the ball in that right center gap or over the fence. But the height and the long arms gives you a lot of leverage at the plate. As Dellenbach a little bit late there on that fastball by Mendez, fouls it off third base side into the fence, and Mendez quickly evens things up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gives you a lot of reach to the outer part of the plate if you're able to also drive the ball the other way. But Dellenbach just fighting to stay alive here as he swings and misses on the curveball. That's going to be strike 3. Good curveball there by Mendez. And Dellenbach, his first at-bat of the season, not the way he'd like to see that go.
And I have that as Mendez's 7th strikeout of the game.
Number 12, Joseph, now steps into the plate as Mendez sets and delivers, and that's going to be a fastball high and inside, ball 1. Mendez, his 68th pitch on its way, and it's down and inside. Looked to be a changeup of some kind, change in velocity there from his fastball. Misses inside and low, ball 2. Mendez here in this baseball game. If I can get my stats pulled together as he misses now 3 balls, no strikes. Mendez here at this point in the game has only given up 1 hit. He's had 3 walks and 8 Ks. 3-0 pitch taken for a strike as Mendez sets to deliver his 3-1 pitch right at the knees. Strike 2. Good fastball by Mendez. Fills things up. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting Joseph. 3-2 pitch on its way. Taken, strike 3. Good fastball outside part of the plate. Joseph wasn't ready, and Mendez picks up the 2nd out of the inning. 2nd strikeout of the inning.
Tremendous piece of pitching there by Mendez. He was down 3-0 in that and battled back and won that at bat. Helps his team out.
Mendez now working with a bit of pace about him. First pitch on its way to Hudson. Misses low and inside. A curveball, ball one. Talked to Coach Langford a couple times here this weekend. He's really controlling his pitches as far as pitch count is concerned. And with this game sitting 10-0, I'd imagine this may be the last inning we see from Mendez as we move towards the fifth. Mendez, 2-0 pitch on the way, fouled off. As the count now moves to 2 balls, 1 strike on what looks to be a pinch hitter here for Valley, number 9, Martinez. As Mendez's 2-1 pitch is on its way. Fastball right at the knees, outside half of the plate, strike 2. Counts now 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. Mendez's payoff pitch on its way, grounded softly left side. Godo's going to field it. Does he have time? Yes. Good throw by Godo on the run to Anderson to end the inning for the Vikings. Valley goes 1-2-3, and after 3.5, Fort Morgan 10, Valley nothing. We'll take a quick break. Mustangs baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, Fort Morgan, Colorado, a home game for the Mustangs as they lead the visiting Vikings 10-0. As we head towards the bottom half of the 4th inning, due up for the Mustangs, Justin Flug, James Martins, and David Mendez. Dellenbach, who pinch hit that last inning, stays in the game, playing first now for the Valley Vikings. Hard to miss him at 6'7" on the baseball field, a giant amongst his peers. Braden and I had the chance to watch him play basketball earlier this year. It was one of the first games the Mustangs played, and Dellenbach single-handedly controlled that basketball game.
And that he did. He did not like to go inside. He'd step back and shoot the outside shot. That was what was impressive to me.
First pitch swinging, Flug. Ground ball left side, fielded by the third baseman and thrown across for the easy out. Good cut there by Flug, but handled cleanly by the third baseman for the first out here this inning. It's going to bring up James Martins. James 1 for 1 here today with a walk. Been hot as of late. 3 hits in his last 4 at-bats and also collecting 2 walks. Martins started a little bit of a fire for the Mustangs last time out on Saturday. First pitch swinging, Martins got caught out in front on that changeup by Gill as he falls behind 0-1. The 0-1 pitch from the right-hander on its way, a curveball fouled off the end of the bat by Martins, and he's quickly behind here. No balls and 2 strikes. Get some words of encouragement from third base coach, head baseball coach Josh Langford. Steve Hale, the assistant, down the line at first in the first base box. 0-2 count on its way. Fastball outside, ball 1. Good 0-2 pitch by the pitcher there for Valley, not in the hittable area for the Mustangs. Martin set to receive the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Ball went into the dirt. Martins runs down and thrown out 2-3 by the catcher on the drop third strike.
Equitable Savings and Loans, Northeast Colorado's hometown savings and loans in Fort Morgan and Brush.
Going to have a substitution here for the Mustangs, batting for David Mendez. It's going to be number 23, Misael Franco, as he steps into the box. Franco has platooned and split some time over at third. We've seen him a couple times already early this year. He takes the fastball low and down at the knees, ball 1. As it looks to be Nate Alexander's on deck for the Mustangs. Nate's been playing out in right field and has been DH'd for, but with Frisbee the DH due up next, looks like Alexander's now is going to bat for himself. 1-1 pitch on the way, almost hits Misael and is taken for ball 2. The count's now 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Mustangs lead 10-0 as the right-hander sets to deliver his 2-1 pitch. Fouled straight back by Misael. And the count's evened up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. I do see someone warming up down there in that bullpen. Not sure if you can see, Braden, from your vantage point who that is. It may be Matt Godo.
And you are correct. I just saw him turn, saw his number, and the follow-through. Nobody else on this Mustang team has a follow-through quite like Godo.
Count now full on Misael Franco. 3-2 pitch on its way. Swung on, belted in through the 5-6 hole. Diving play by the shortstop. Is able to knock the ball down and keep it in front, but Misael just too quick, and that's going to be an infield single. And give the Mustangs their first base runner here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nate Alexander steps up to the plate, eliminating the DH here for the Mustangs. Quick throw over, keeping Misael close by the Valley pitcher. Nothing doing. Quick words from Coach Langford to Nate Alexander as he steps into the box, waiting for the right-hander's pitch. Pitch on its way. Fastball taken at the knees, ball 1. I anticipate we'll see Godo to finish things up. Mustangs get 3 outs in the top part of the 5th inning. That'll do it for this baseball game, but before we can get there, we've got to finish the 4th as that ball's to the backstop. Misael's going to move up 90 feet to second on that pass ball. Mustang now in scoring position in Franco as Nate Alexander sits 2 balls, no strikes. Good hitter's count here for Nate if he can find a good pitch to hit. 2 balls, no strikes. The count you want as a hitter 3-1 where you can cut her loose with not much to lose. As the 2-0 pitch is taken for a strike, strike 1.
That pitch looked like it was right down the center.
Nate hasn't had too many at-bats this year. May not be necessarily comfortable in trying to see some pitches, but nonetheless, good opportunity for him to stay aggressive and swing the stick here and add to this 10-0 lead. Slider of some kind misses outside, ball 3. 3-1 now the count on Nate Alexander. Mustangs lead. Bottom of the 4th inning, 10-0. Fort Morgan has not struggled to score runs this year. As the 3-1 pitch is belted, a line drive over the center fielder's head. Takes 1 hop before it hits the 344 sign in center field. Misael is going to score easily. And Nate Alexander's into second with a stand-up double. Good piece of hitting there by Nate. Just mentioned 2-0. Braden, he took the pitch, 3-1. He wasn't going to let it go by again as he hammered that ball over the center fielder's head. Misael scores easily, extending the Mustang lead now to 11. 11-1 is our score. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning, and Ulysses Hernandez, the Mustang's second baseman, steps into the batter's box. And the first pitch misses down and inside, ball 1 to Ulysses. Mustangs 16-6 last year, 10-5 in Tri-Valley League play, looking to better that record this year. And -1 inning this year to Brush. They're off to a great start. 1-0 pitch is called for a strike, 1-1, as things even up here on Ulysses Hernandez. Right-hander's 1-1 pitch, curveball outside, ball 2, as the count moves to 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Ulysses Hernandez. 11-0 is our score. Bottom half of the 4th inning, 2 outs as Hernandez swings and misses.
Big cut by Hernandez.
Big cut on a fastball inside part of the plate. Comes up empty as the count's now 2-2. 2-2 count to Ulysses. Coach Langford telling him to work up the middle and try to drive a ball to center field as the 2-2 pitch on its way. Curveball misses outside in the dirt, ball 3. Number 19 for the Mustangs. I believe that's Sergio Baquero. If I'm accurate, on deck for the Mustangs would be hitting for Nick Garver as the fastball misses in the dirt. Alexander's going to move up 90 feet, and Ulysses Hernandez is going to reach first on the walk.
Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance is locally in Fort Morgan and Brush, offers home, health, auto, farm, business, and workers' compensation insurance. That's Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance.
Sergio Baquero moves into this baseball game for Nick Garver, as he'll see his first plate appearance here this afternoon. Sergio, when we were last with you on Saturday, was out in right field, but was also the hitter that they DH'd for. So Baquero getting some of his first swings in here this season. Swings and misses on the first offering, and goes behind quickly, 0-1. Runners at first and third for the Mustangs. Nate Alexander at third. Ulysses Hernandez with the walk at first. 0-1 pitch on its way, a curveball swung on and missed. 0-2 now the count on Sergio Baquero. Pinch hitter here for the Mustangs, likely will stay in the game in center field, I would imagine. As the 0-2 pitch on its way gets to the backstop. Everybody's going to move up 90 feet. Mustangs are going to score their 12th run as Nate Alexander comes across home plate. And Ulysses Hernandez moves up to second.
B&B Appliance at 502 Ensign in downtown Fort Morgan is the place to shop for all of your appliance needs. B&B Appliance, a member of the Brand Source Retail Program.
1-2 pitch, curveball outside corner, strike 3 looking, and that's going to do it here for the Mustangs. Mustangs had a couple more, as Fort Morgan has 12 to Valley's nothing. We'll take a quick break. Be back with the top of the 5th inning. Mustangs baseball, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider bringing you Fort Morgan baseball coverage here from Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, American Legion Park. Mustangs lead a Valley Ball Club playing their first game this season. Mustangs, things go their way here in the top half of the 5th inning. Will pick up their 3rd win early on in this 2012 season as the Mustangs lead handily 12-0 as we head towards the top of the 5th inning. Changes for the Mustangs. We'll go around the diamond as there's a few of them. Now in left field, Nate Alexander. Sergio Baquero stays in the game in center. Jacob Frick goes out for the Mustangs into right field. Misael Franco stays in after his at-bat at third. Fitzsimmons at short, Hernandez at second, Anderson at first. Flug still works behind the plate, and Matt Godo now becomes the second pitcher of this game as he's set to begin his first inning of work this afternoon. Godo threw well his first outing as a starter. Now comes into this baseball game in relief, and he's off to a quick start as his fastball is called for strike 1. Godo facing Brazel, Chacon, and Brunts due up here for the Vikings as the second pitch looks to be a slider taken for strike 2, and Godo's quickly ahead. No balls, 2 strikes on the Valley hitter. Godo's 0-2 payoff pitch on the way. Fastball fouled straight back as Brazel fights to stay alive.
Godo brings a little more velocity to the hill as Mendez has got a little more control. Godo's definitely your high-velocity pitcher. As you said, Mendez hit between 80 and 84. I'd be curious to what Godo's throwing.
Curveball swung on and missed, strike 3. Good sequence there by Godo, making quick work of Brazel as the first out of the inning is recorded on that strikeout by Godo. Pinch hitter here for the Vikings. Matsuyama comes to the plate. I guess he's their shortstop. He came into the game back when that pitching change was made by the Vikings, and he quickly falls behind 0-1. Godo's 0-1 pitch, a slider, fouled off right side. Anderson gives it chase, but it's going to run out of room as it goes out of play. And Godo here quickly ahead. No balls, 2 strikes on Matsuyama. As Godo's not wasting much time, and he's throwing all 6 of his pitches for strikes. 0-2 pitch on its way in the dirt, ball 1. Good 0-2 pitch by Godo, changing the eyesight of the hitter Matsuyama. Expect maybe that hard slider or breaking ball of Godo here inside, or a fastball to put him away. See what happens. It's the curveball, and it misses, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mustangs looking to pick up their 3rd win here of the 2012 season. And the curveball's grounded left side. Fielded and now dropped by Misael, and he's going to force the throw, which gets away from him, but not far enough with the backup defense there by the catcher and right fielder and Frick. Matsuyama's going to reach on the air, giving the Valley Vikings a base runner here in the top of the 5th inning. Misael just a little too quick to worry about the throw and then forgot the baseball. As Matsuyama reaches first on the air. 25 Brunt steps in. Godo quick check of the runner at first. High leg kick, fastball right down Broadway, strike 1. 12-0, top of the 5th inning. If the Mustangs can get out of this without giving up a run here to Valley, that'll do it with the mercy rule that's in place at the high school level. 10 runs after 5 innings. As the 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed, now strike 2. 0-2 the count on Brunt. Runner at first for the Vikings, held on by the Mustangs' Aaron Anderson. Quick check by Godo. Right-hander's 0-2 pitch. Curveball. Good-looking pitch. Just maybe a little bit high as the count moves now to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Umpire taps Flug, maybe saying I missed one. As the 1-2 pitch is on its way. Misses outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Godo working quickly. As we've got 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, foul ball. As Brunt works to stay alive. Godo this at bat. Jumped off with 2 quick strikes. Getting ahead 0-2. Now things are evened up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Quick throw over there. Keeping the base runner close, but nothing doing as the 2-2 pitch is on its way. Fastball right at the knees. Just a little bit inside as the count fills up. 3-2. KSIRsports.com. Follow us all year pitch by pitch. As the fastball on the inside corner is called strike 3. Good pitch by Godo. The base runner, or the batter for Valley, was halfway down the baseline when the umpire rung him up. And that's going to be the 2nd strikeout this inning for Godo. As the Mustangs have 2 outs in the top of the 5th, lead 12-0. 1 more out should do it here as the fastball swung on and missed, strike 1. Anderson continues to hold the runner at first in Matsuyama. Matsuyama reaching on the air by Misael Franco. Weakly hit, back up the box, fielded by Godo, thrown over easily to Anderson, and that should do it. As the Mustangs, on what is their first winning streak of the season, winning on Saturday against Meade, and now here collecting the win against Valley. We'll take a quick break, be back with final numbers, and wrap things up here from Fort Morgan and Eddie Underwood Field, where we have a final score, Fort Morgan 12, Valley 0. We'll take a quick break, be back with final stats, B106, B106.com. Josh Miller, Braden Schneider, back with you here at Eddie Underwood Field in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs are victorious. 2nd time here in the last 3 days as they win 12-0 against the Valley Vikings, coming to town here to play their first ball game of the 2012 season. Braden, the Mustangs off to a quick start. We've kind of talked about it in a couple of these early broadcasts. Mustangs do not have problems scoring runs, as they score 12 today. 3 of their 4 baseball games, the 3 games they've won, have been won with the mercy rule, and they haven't even had to play 7 innings to win them.
There's 2 things about that. The one, it's the Mustangs are playing great baseball. They refuse to let up. The other thing is that the Mustangs really haven't been in a tight ball game other than Brush. That kind of scares me. We're getting ready to start Tri-Valley League play Saturday against Northridge. That's going to be a big first game for the Mustangs to see, as Northridge is generally always a tough opponent. Basketball, baseball, football, they're always right there. It's going to be interesting. The pitching staff for the Mustangs, solid. Mendez, Godo. There's your 1-2 punch. You've got a lot of velocity. Those 2 pitchers can combine. They mix up their pitches. You watch both of them have good curveballs. You look when they throw that 2-2 pitch, you're looking at a curveball, hard slider, even that fastball down and in. Really gives the Mustangs a huge advantage here. And the Mustangs have leadership. They have a lot of seniors out here. Garver, Godo, Fitzsimmons, Anderson, Flug, Frisbee. All seniors. All play the field. All hit very efficiently. Mustangs are a solid ball club, and I look for them to get out early on just about any team they play. But they're going to have to back it up with that solid pitching.
That's just it. I mean, Coach Langford wants his teams to be aggressive and wants them to come out early and set the pace in these baseball games and force their opponents to keep up. And ball club hasn't let them down up until this point this season. You take away the 6th inning against Brush with Nate Alexander coming into that game and walking quite a few batters and throwing a lot of pitches, and let that baseball game get away from him, as Brush was able to score 7 runs in that 1 inning. You take that 1 inning of baseball away from this season, and Mustangs are set up really well going into the Tri-Valley League play. And you make a great point, Braden, is the Mustangs have not yet been tested. And in talking to Coach Langford, the Tri-Valley League is a tough conference, and they're going to have their battles day in, day out. So it'll be interesting to see how the Mustangs handle those tests. But with the pitching staff they have, the core group of seniors and returners on this baseball team, 16-6 last year, these Mustangs will likely improve on that record here this season. Post-game show here today brought to you by High Plains Bank in Wiggins. No matter what your loans need, stop by High Plains Bank at 502 Central Avenue in Wiggins today. Also inquire about checking and savings accounts as well as CDs at High Plains Bank in Wiggins. Final line here from today's contest. Fort Morgan scoring 12 runs on 13 hits. Misael made that error in the top of the 5th inning, and the Mustangs left 4 runners on base. For Valley, not so successful. They score no runs with 1 hit. They make 2 errors and left 4 runners on base. This game, a quick one of the quicker ones we've seen this year, only going an hour and 32 minutes. As the Mustangs make quick work of Valley, we'll be back with you on Saturday, as Braden mentioned, Northridge. And these Mustangs open up Tri-Valley League play on the road against the Northridge Grizzlies. We'll have that game for you on Saturday. I'd like to thank our sound engineer and producer of Mustang Baseball back in the studio, Trent Klemper. I'm Josh Miller for Braden Schneider. Final score here at Eddie Underwood Field. Mustangs win 12-0. Enjoy the rest of what has been a beautiful day and what should be a beautiful rest of the week. And we'll be back with you here on Saturday. You've been listening to Mustangs Baseball on B106, B106.com.